Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. The brilliant Eric Weinstein, brother of Brett Weinstein, who I've actually had the pleasure of interviewing and having on my show. If you want to watch that conversation, I've linked it in the show description for you all to actually go see. This was when Brett was releasing his book, The Hunter-Gatherer's Guide to the 21st Century. That book right there, that's the spine, with his wife, Heather Hying. I enjoy the conversation. I think it was towards the tail end of COVID, and I spent about 20 minutes explaining. This is before the actual conversation. I spent 20 minutes explaining just how draconian the Australian law was when COVID hit. And by the way, this new misinformation and disinformation Albanese government bill is pure censorship. And the likelihood of it, well, I'm going to say, unfortunately, it's going to pass because we've got that kind of government. They're going to rely on the Greens, and the Greens are all for censorship. I'll be utterly shocked and surprised if the Greens go, no, I don't want to vote for this. And if any Liberal in Parliament votes for this, we're dead. We're dead as a country. We really are, because you can't vote for Liberal anymore because you've got Liberals that would vote for actual censorship, and they're supposed to be the party that allows freedom of speech. We had the Liberal government in power during COVID, and what did that tell you? Like, they were full on about this misinformation and disinformation regarding COVID. You couldn't say anything online. If you said anything online, you'd be censored, you'd be banned, you'd be arrested and charged. It's ridiculous. Also, we're seeing now all of the stuff that happened during COVID, all the draconian measures. Like, the interesting thing is, once they've gone to court, they're all getting thrown out and they're all winning their cases now against police brutality, or you name it. Like, it's really insane. But it amazes me how in today's society, you've got like this new misinformation, disinformation bill, which when it does get passed, unfortunately, I can't believe I'm actually saying that, I won't be able to say anything. That's just the reality. Like, being in Australia, you think we're for democracy, we're for freedom of speech, but hey, it's only free if the one in power dictates what you're allowed to say. That to me doesn't seem like a democracy. That seems more like a socialist utopia, or more like a Marxist dictatorship, if you ask me. But hey, hopefully Trump wins, and hopefully the world comes back to some sort of relative normal, I guess, if you wanted to use that term. But hey, going back to Eric Weinstein for a second, who is a brilliant man. You may have seen him debate the likes of Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan's podcast. You may have seen him on Modern Wisdom a couple of times. And he's a very intelligent man, no doubt about that. And I would love to have him on my show and speak to him if he would be so willing, or if he even watches this video. I don't think he will, but nevertheless, if he does, I just want to extend the invitation out to him, just like I did with his brother. And I'm sure his brother can, if he remembers me, that is. I don't think he does, but if he enjoys my conversation with his brother Brett, then I would love to have him on this show. But with the conversation that he had with Terrence Howard, who is either an actual lunatic or a brilliant man as well, Eric was so kind. Trust me, guys, I'm getting to my point in just a moment. Eric was so kind to Terrence. The way Eric looks at the world and around life, and it's through the lens of one person that you can tell is, yes, highly intellectual, but also relatively empathetic. It's like every time he was speaking to Terrence, he wanted Terrence to be right. Even though he knew that he wasn't, he wanted him to be right. So he tried to help him out a lot. He tried to teach him. He tried to instruct him. That's the way I thought, at least, even though Terrence was like, my ideas, they work in my head. And Eric was like, no, not all of them do, but some do. And I'll help you out here to get to the ones that actually do work. And he does a similar thing here with Piers Morgan. He is able to see the world from a very different lens. Now, obviously, Eric and Brett are old school Democrats. When I say old school Democrats, I'm talking about the ones that actually have a lot of common sense and reason and rationale to them. Not the Democrats of today, like Kamala Harris and her mob, not like the celebrities today that are just laughing monkeys and just absolute dingbats and idiots. The ones that sow division and just yell and scream and say that Trump is the enemy of the people. Trump is like pure Trump derangement syndrome. But Eric is able to look at what's taking place in the American political system today and break it down in a way that makes a great deal of sense. And it also is rather worrisome at the same time, because here in this clip that he is speaking with Piers Morgan, he tells Piers Morgan that he doesn't believe that Trump will be allowed come election day. Have a watch.
I will point out that I'm not entirely positive that Kamala and Trump will be the candidates in November. I'm definitely thinking that it is likely, when before I thought it was very unlikely that both Biden and Trump would make it to November. But I cannot tell you what is going to happen. So much has happened this cycle that you have to keep an open mind that we may have some stunning changes, reversals.
Now, when you've got a brilliant man like Eric Weinstein saying, I can't tell you what is about to happen, that says something, because so much has actually taken place in just a short space of time. I mean, Trump was almost assassinated 2 months ago, not even. And then that was the first one. And the second one was not even a week ago now. And the mainstream media is sort of skirting over that even more so. Like we're living in a time where information is just so much at our fingertips that we're becoming really desensitized. We just want the next big crazy thing. And if we don't get the next big crazy thing, we're going, all right, let's create something that's big and crazy so we can fulfill our dopamine urges that much more so. But I agree with Eric in many respects here, because this was after the debate between Kamala and Trump. And Eric was like, I don't think he believes that Kamala and Trump will make it to November, or Trump will be allowed to make it to November. And it looks like the Democrats don't want Trump to make it to November by the assassination attempts that you guys have seen. One's bad enough. Two, that's really concerning. But we've also been warned by so many people that they're not going to want Trump to get to November. They're going to make damn well sure that he doesn't. Because if you've got the Democrats going, he's a threat to democracy, but more than that, he's going to topple over our reign. And we don't want that, because we are implicit in so many evil things that the moment Trump gets in power, we're going to be in a lot of trouble, a significant amount of trouble. So when you got experts that are on a different side of the aisle, let's say, that are going, I don't think this is going to be good for our country. It's not good for our country. We need to come back to actual democracy here. We need to go, you know what? Let's allow people to vote for whoever they want to vote for. Let's not attack one another. Let's actually vote properly. That would make a lot of sense now, wouldn't it? But unfortunately, in today's day and age, I don't foresee it happening. I just don't. And Eric's right. Like, there's so much that has taken place in such a short space of time. I worry, and I guess I fear for a little bit, like for Trump's safety, but I also know who's in control of it all. At the end of the day, I don't know who's going to win. I hope it's Trump. I hope it's Trump. I pray it's Trump. But a lot of people are blind. They're blind to the truth. They think that Trump's the enemy, even though their lives were significantly better under Trump. It just amazes me. Like, the mainstream media doesn't want to tell the truth. You're looking at stories these days from other sources to get the actual truth and an unbiased perspective. But even then, it's not really unbiased. I mean, I'm trying not to have a biased viewpoint here, but the fact is, I just think I don't want a lunatic to be controlling the West. That lunatic being Kamala Harris, that can't put two sentences together, create so many word salads. That's all she is. Feeling. It ain't good. You can't, well, you shouldn't be able to win a presidency based around I feel good. No. You shouldn't be able to do that. That's insane, if you ask me. And if she wins because of that, what does that say about the American people? Anyway, my friends, I thought I would show you this clip from Eric Weinstein, and Piers Morgan actually agrees with him for once. That's surprising. But anyway, that's enough from me, guys. You guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.